All right. I want to welcome Jesse Rucinski back to the show. Been a while. And you're back, by the way, your podcast, which is a good thing because you are the facts and data guy and you back your shit up with a lot of receipts. So it's really good to hear you're back. In listening to your return, as we discussed online, I wanted to if you want to, I want to start with your VA experiences and what led you back to podcasting because when we talked about it's been over a year now, huh? Since you were on
It
last? I think it was a year.
it was close.
Yeah, close to.
I
Yeah.
think I went 9 months.
So back then you were having troubles with the VA and trying to get help and doctors, etc. And so the reason I want to talk about this is first, good thing you are getting the damn help finally. Uh, but what changed and what in your mind led to you actually getting what you need finally after all these damn years? Like it seems like the struggle was it was ridiculous, for someone like you, a veteran who literally needs that help, but yet couldn't really get anything together. And now all of a sudden everything's just kind of coming like it's working. I got to understand what you think or what happened that really led to that change and getting you back to where you need to be.
Well, first off, let's throw a big thank you to you because everyone asked every once in a while. You were the only person actually, texting me like every 7 to 10 days going, "When you getting back behind the mic? When you getting
Oh,
back behind
really?
the mic? When you getting back behind the mic?"
Nah,
Like,
you
"Damn
need
it,
to be
I'm
behind the mic.
trying. I need to," but the last thing I did was right after he announced, Pam Bondi as the AG back in November, so I didn't realize it was 9 months. Until
Yeah.
I actually went and did one, and I went, "Good, oh." But, the VA was a pile of shit for years. I mean, it's the frankest way to put it. I mean, I had an easier time getting my face put back together in the height of COVID after the accident. It was easier to have surgery done during the height of it than it was just to get a doctor. Yeah, the last 4 years, it's amazing how that happened. Yeah, it's actually kind of funny if you think about it. But for 4 years, I mean, I had 3 primary care doctors, and that includes, like, the year and a half. It was 18 to 21 months where I didn't have a doctor at all. There was just nothing, and that doesn't include the time in between, appointments when I didn't see anybody because I didn't even know my primary care doctor and Hannah's brother's primary care doctor were the same people. And
Hmm.
I happened to see him, like, "Well, they just canceled my VA tomorrow." He's like, "Was it this doctor?" I'm like, "Yeah." "Oh, she's been gone for, like, 6 months." I'm like,
Wow.
"Cool." So she quit, like, the day after I saw her last week. Yeah. Um,
Nobody reached out
and
to you?
then I've no one cared, but they figured they were just gonna, play it off until we all had to show up and that none of us talked to each other, which again, it's the VA. Why would they be that smart? But thankfully, my neurologist totally didn't suck. So, yeah, one more giant shout out to Dr. Oster because he was taking care of x-rays. He was taking care of all kinds of stuff for me that was well beyond, a neurologist's, job, title and all that. Like, whenever I needed an x-ray or anything and I saw him, he's like, "Cool, it's in, go." Because I literally, like, at one point was arguing with doctors. I was like, "Can we do the x-rays when I'm going down to see neuro?" They're like, "We'll talk about it at your next appointment." I'm like, "Yeah, but see, that's like 2 weeks. I'm gonna be there next week because it's down to Wilmington, so it's like an hour or so away. So I'd like to do the x-rays while I'm down there instead of seeing you guys the week after and then driving back to Wilmington." And the response was, "We'll talk about it at your appointment." I'm like, "Okay." And I told my neurologist, and he's like, "Cool, it's in, go." I'm like, "Thank you."
Hmm.
Because they can apparently all see each other's direct messages that we have through there. So they can read everything we're saying. He's like, "Go." I'm like, "Thank you." But yeah, it absolutely sucked. I couldn't get anything done. And miraculously, I mean, I don't find it to be a coincidence because, yeah, the first 4 years I was in absolutely sucked. Um, then there was this 4-year period where suddenly things were starting to roll again, to include all the surgeries when I got run over, everything I needed during COVID. There was, physical therapy, I was seeing everything I needed. Then there's 4 years of nothing, and I don't find and since then, this year, just, since February, I got to go see the urologist. I mean, I had to drive all the way to Richmond, but, I got to see them, the endocrinologist, all of them. and got testosterone treatment from, to replace everything because I was down at barely 100, and the average is way above 100 for my age group. So I got that taken care of, which I think is taken care of. It's nice when your body feels like it's healing. It's good to have energy and not feel like a zombie all the time. It's not necessarily the funnest after the injection to walk around for a day, but that got done. They sent me to a chiropractor finally, which is fantastic because I was arguing for that for years. And they got me a lymphatic drainage, lymphopress machine, all the compression to help get rid of all the swelling. Because I think I sent you pictures of the swelling. Like at one point, I think I just sent you one of like my left leg compared to
Yeah,
my
you
right one
did. Yeah.
when it was all blown up. So they got that, and that took care of that problem. Which God bless them. They got me in for chiropractor again. Like I said, I'm going back to him. I got my head taken care of this week. I go back to him next week. They got me put in for acupuncture. I mean, there's so much going on.
What 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 happened though? Like,
Regime
I
change.
yeah, so, okay, we can talk about that because I remember you and I discussing back and forth. You took a break because you had to get shit done, right? And you were frustrated as hell because, like, I can't get anything, like, no one's responding to me. I keep being put back on the list, like, go to back to the line, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, and so you're you think the change really has to do with Trump's second term here at the start of the second term? That's when you start to notice it then, or was it a little bit down the line? Uh,
Um,
I'm trying to understand what made the difference because it's like,
it,
why should caring for veterans ever be politicized or prioritized differently depending on who the hell's in office? Like, that doesn't make
well,
sense.
let's also not forget what the last regime did when they were, yeah, legitimately, I mean, taking resources from the VA to deal with what was happening down in Texas.
Mhm.
Let's just say that. Yeah, they were literally taking stuff from us, but it was regime change. I mean, like I noticed it. Again, the first 4 years was a headache to do anything, and everything wasn't perfect. Under Trump's first term, obviously. And if you can look at just basic numbers though, like where the veteran suicide rate was, like it did go up a little bit his first year, went up a little bit his second year, but then in 19 and 20, even with all the lockdowns and isolation and all of that, like we had our two biggest drops like ever. It might have been, I couldn't even tell you the last time we had back to back drops of that big. And then we almost went right back to it the first year under Biden. And then, in case anybody's curious, look it up. They haven't reported anything since 21, which tells you exactly how everything was handled. For all of the you can't support Trump and say you support veterans. Yeah, at least Trump let us know how many of them were, how bad the situation actually was, which is well, a lot of my liberals friends are gone on Facebook, but God rest their souls. They can't help themselves. But yeah, it's totally regime. Like there were 4 years where I was like, it was the CARES Act, where they said if we can't get help within 30 days, we can go in town. And I literally, when I was trying to get, I don't remember who the hell it was. At this point, I argued with them for so long, but it might have actually been ortho. But like the closest one we have is like 6 months from now. I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, but the CARES Act. And she was like, yeah, no. I was like, "Yeah, it's still law last time I checked. They didn't get rid of that." She's like, "Yeah, but no." I was like, "Yeah, it is." You're like, "No." And then I was like, "Whatever, just schedule the damn thing, send me the thing." And this time, I mean, like I forgot the consult went in to go do the acupuncturist just because they've been calling me for so many damn things lately. It's a very odd change of pace to see the VA's number pop up on my screen that much. But yeah, like they call me and they're like, "Oh, can't do anyone in the network. The closest person's in New Bern. Good enough for you?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, I'll drive a half hour for whatever. Well, I'll go to New Bern." They're like, and it was just like that. And she's like, "There's no more bureaucracy. You get your, consult, you get your 12, and if it helps, tell your doctor. He'll tell me, and it doesn't have to go through any, VA bureaucratic thing." She's like, "What?" I was like, and she'll set up, she said, "But it's approved. If it works, I'll approve it immediately." I'm like, "Are you sure this is the VA?" She's like, "Hi, I'm the VA and I approve it." I'm like,
Yeah, but
God damn, where was this? It was just,
do
you
these
know,
guys in the VA even acknowledge that they were fucking you off
no.
for so many years before? Like, all of a sudden, it's just, "Hey, glad to meet you. We're here for you." They just
I mean,
ignore everything previously?
my neurologist always he always he at least acknowledged that he knew. how I'd say fucked we all were. Because I mean, I obviously wasn't his only, patient that was probably
Right.
asking him for, things outside of his means because we just couldn't get anyone. I mean, it was, like, to the point where they were gonna send me out in town, and then they're like, "Cool, we'll send you this place." I'm like, "Okay." And then, like, they did the confirmation text in the afternoon, like, before, and then, like, at 7:30 that night, suddenly I got the canceling thing. "We have to reschedule you because the prov" and that happened, like, 3 times, and I called them like, "There has to be someone else that you could just send it to." Why? Because they keep canceling the day before? Like, and then they just stopped responding altogether. So that was, um, uh, my eye doctor. I'm fighting, no, it's not really a fight anymore, but, arguing with Optum because I scheduled an eye doctor appointment about this time last year, I'd say, except it was for, this year. Like, you can go back to the same eye doctor, but it has to be next summer. I'm like, "That's cool, whatever." Yeah.
We
I'm not desperate for glasses, but just because 'cause
yeah,
I've already been there enough times, they have all that. I was like,
but we need
and
we
the
need
VA can't get me in.
we need to acknowledge though, Jesse, like,
Yeah.
this is a major problem in
Oh, it's
where
catastrophic.
yeah,
It's an
where
epidemic.
yeah, yeah, because we're talking about people as yourself who served, you come back with actual
Yep.
ailments and injuries due to serving, and they treat veterans like they're second class when it comes to medical, or there's never enough, resources,
No,
but we've got people living on, assisted living not assisted like Medicare, Medicaid, whatever, any government assistance that aren't veterans that can call and get their treatment and get things paid for or get, a large percentage paid for without a problem, but if you're going through the VA, the channel you're supposed to go through as a veteran, it's like you gotta jump through hoops to make it happen.
oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good you guys I mean, it sounds like it's turning around finally, but the lack of accountability and admission to their fuck ups is ridiculous, like, just acting as if, "No, it was always we're always here for you."
Hey, Afghanistan, the end.
Mm,
That
yeah,
sums up accountability for all of them. Afghanistan, which I might add, all of their people still say was a great success. I'd say
I
it like Bo Rat, but I can't pull the accent off. I don't want to go and ruin Bo Rat, whatever, isn't it, for people that like him, even though Sacha Baron Cohen does make me laugh every once in a while,
yeah,
but
he's got
it was,
he's got his
great
moments.
success, it was good. But again, like the eye doctor thing, like they rescheduled it from like this August. They moved it up to all the way to last November. Like, no, and they're like, it's in the system, but you didn't show. I'm like, well, that'd be great if they told me.
So
Why? Because they're the one that schedule it. Doesn't show up on my VA thing. What, like, and no one said anything. No one told me anything that they moved it
yeah,
up. I'm like, you'd think I would dick it off for 9 months earlier? Like, I'm stupid.
but
Like, but give me some credit.
a lot of what you went through, I mean, it's not just um, care for pain management. There's also mental health. There's so much stuff
Okay.
that people need, and like for
Yeah,
you, it affected your life all the way around. I'm not gonna. I mean, you're not. You tell people whatever you want, but from what I know from when we were texting or when we were communicating, etc., is you kind of like you needed your own time, so you kind of like pulled away from these things you love to do because you didn't feel you're in the right space to push forward.
yeah.
For example, you backed
My
off on the
brain was
podcast, you backed off even on your artwork. You got
yeah.
back into it. I see, even sending me pictures. You got some cool stuff going on, some great pieces, but it's like kind of shrunk back away because you're of the frustration from not getting the help you need.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
then,
didn't have a mental health doctor for years.
yeah, how ridiculous. So can you tell everybody, how that affected? Let's just, I mean, we'll use the podcast for example because that's what I think most people know you for. Is your show. So the Jesse Rucinski show, by the way, if you don't know who Jesse Rucinski is, check it out. Really good stuff. But uh, tell people how that impacted your show and your ability to move forward in your show and concentrate on doing that.
Well, I mean, if we talk about, the headspace part of it, I mean, like, that was just we all do it. I was just burying, compartmentalizing things like, makes me sound like a serial killer. But I'm going to go back to can't complain, but if I did, who would care? Except this time there literally wasn't even anyone that pretended to care. There was no one. And I mean, there was a lot of just headspace stuff. And then, I didn't want to do anything. And, neurological stuff on top of it that I was, and again, I can't say anything bad about my neurologist. He was trying. He was doing everything he could, but there's only, so much that one man could do, and I was getting, I mean, the glare was getting me, bright lights were really getting me. My neck was, thankfully, again, they got me into chiropractor, so my neck, they got me to see real doctors and imaging and stuff lately, so my neck's, functioning. It was just a total collapse of anyone being able to do anything or caring about anything. Just I don't wanna say I gave up because of everything, but I mean, I was fighting so many battles that even doing this wasn't fun. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure we met. I told you I was gonna do all kinds of reclaimed wall, wood on the wall behind me. I was gonna do all this stuff. And then one day I literally came in here, and if you didn't notice, the walls are very, very like I packed it all up in the garage one day. She came in, she's like, "What the like what? I don't even want to look at it." Like I was
Was
so detached from the world.
were you
Everything's still
depressed,
sitting out.
do you think? Definitely?
Oh yeah, there was definitely, and thankfully now, I have getting a therapist finally. It took him fucking 2 years, but yeah, it was like they just everything compounded between, losing some of my Marines, the health stuff, family stuff. But thankfully, I don't care about the family stuff, but you can't fix stupid.
Right.
Yeah, they're gonna hate each other, but we're still good. But yeah, it was just everything compounding on top of everything. And I didn't say I was depressed, but when I did my mental health evaluation the other day, oh yeah, damn straight I was depressed. Like, it's just everything sucked. And there was no like the light at the end of the tunnel was a fucking freight train. And I knew it was a freight train. Why? Because nothing was getting, anyone that's out there listening can understand. I mean, it's just what the hell's gonna happen next? And every time you turn around, there's another fucking next, you know, nothing, just one thing after another, nothing helps anything. There's definitely, and that was the word. That's how when I stopped painting, stopped doing the show, I was like, yeah, well, this is probably, a bad sign. And I almost, crept back into it, almost. But, I got through it this time because I noticed the signs and I know how miserable I was for a while. And now, I'm like, I'm actually getting somewhere now. Like, there's doctors, there's people, I have friends, the people I could talk to. I have doctors again. It was really the big doctor thing. Like that was just the most depressing part about all of it 'cause it didn't matter. Like at one point, it was literally there wasn't even anyone to reach out to for like a year and a half. And then when they tried to send me in town again, couldn't get me to anyone, and they
Did
stopped reaching out.
did you
Optum even stopped trying.
did you kinda feel like it didn't matter?
Oh yeah, like I felt like I was just a little insignificant, little bug in the world, and no one cared. So why should I? Which is probably the worst, pit you can get
So
into, in my opinion.
so how'd you get back? I mean, was it literally just the regime change and the care you're getting
Yeah,
that motivated you to get back?
yeah,
Or did you realize, "I need to get my shit together and do the things
a little
that"
bit of both.
Okay.
A a little bit of both, but, I mean, like, 'cause again, I sent you that one picture. What I think I sent you the picture of the swelling when I was up in, like, Pennsylvania. I wanna say early January, maybe end of December, whenever the hell it was, and it just ran like a balloon. And the second, I mean, once I started getting the stuff for that, so my leg, because they measured it, like, because they sent a lady, like, "Here's the machine. She has to come over and show you how to use it." I'm like, "I know how to use it," you know? And me and her laughed. I'm like, "It's amazing how, like, fam it's amazing how much you guys are doing now so suddenly." She's like, "Yeah, it's funny how that works out, isn't it?" And we had a good but, just getting stuff done, because when I went, I don't remember who it was. I think it was the chiropractor the first time, and that was on a small swelling day. Like, my left leg on average was still just from, above knee down, was on average, like, 5 inches bigger that day. Like, everywhere, and that didn't include foot. Like, it was just gigantic, and it hurt, and it
Crazy.
sucked. And the second we started taking care of, that took, a lot of it away. But yeah, would and I also just think I got tired of feeling sorry for myself. And again, there was great people, like George here. Just, "When are you gonna get on the mic? When are you gonna get on the mic?" Hannah's like, "When are you gonna get back on the mic?" She's like, "When are you gonna go back on a show?" I'm like, "I don't know. Let 'em ask. Jesus, what is with the 2 of you?" And then,
Well, I
there
mean,
was that.
you got a
It
good
was
thing
good.
going and,
It's what I
it's
needed.
yeah,
It's what I needed.
so it's a
It's
combination of self-motivation
yeah.
and yeah, and that's an important thing. Look, and I don't wanna grill you a lot on this, Jesse. I just know that you went through a lot with this, and I know other
Oh, it
veterans
was
do, but, there's not enough people that talk about it. That's why I wanted to talk to you about this.
yeah.
It's
Hey,
good for people to hear what actually happens because a lot of people assume, "Oh, no, they're well taken care of." And then there's also the, it's still kinda lingering. It's changed a little, but there's still the anti-service person, support.
oh yeah.
It's like,
It's
fuck the military. Those guys, I don't believe in what America's doing, so we
yeah.
don't care about them. It's
And
ridiculous.
there's the even worse part. There's one that's even worse than all of that. It's like some people I know. I mean, he's never going to listen to this, so fuck it. It's like Drew, and we were friends for forever until suddenly he turned on CNN one day, and suddenly I was a racist and like la da 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 da. I'm like, you're the one that makes jokes about making things making you want to slap Chinese babies. Last time I checked,
Jeez.
that's a no. That's a bad person. What? And I'm telling you to stomp that. But suddenly I was the word like the Antichrist, even though we knew each other for like almost 30 years at that point. I like whatever. But we'd have arguments where he would be like barking about how bad veterans got treated. But this is how you know he's a liberal. Because he was then also, while bitching about that, would talk about how the government needs to take care of, everyone deserves health care through the government and let them run it. Like, so, okay, so you're mad because they can't take care of a handful of us and we get treated like dirt, but you think they should handle over 330 million of us.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're a liberal. What? They're taking such bad care of the 12 of us that there is in comparison to the country. But sure, they can handle that. What? Yay, what?
Yeah.
Liberals for dummies. There you go. What the ultimate logic? What, can't take care of 10 of us, but sure, let's take care of 350 million. Why not? Fuck it. That makes sense. That was the argument that just, oh my God, if I didn't have so many head injuries, I'd headbutt a wall. It turns out, you can only do that so many times, but it's much cheaper than headbutting a stupid person. So everyone remember that. I say I want to headbutt something, it is not a human being.
Well,
Lawyers are expensive.
since you brought up, liberals, that's a good segue to get into a bit of what you do with the show. But before we get into that, I just wanna point out everybody that, look, veterans are still struggling to get care, and it didn't go away, and we need more people to step up and make noise about it and make sure that, it's happening. It's happening for veterans. They shouldn't
And
be
I will
ignored for their
say,
service.
and I'll say at the end, just like I keep arguing with my buddy, Walter, who I did episodes of Wednesdays with Walter way back fucking when forever ago before he really lost his mind when everyone called him Chuck every once in a while. But he's like, I just quit. I'm not like the dude, like the second you like stop, like that's one less voice out there keeping this shit. Like he's very vocal about it. He's always there doing stuff about it. Like, even if it feels like it's getting nowhere, what, you not saying anything? What, that's one less voice saying anything about how we've been treated for the last, how X amount of years. I mean, since Vietnam vets
Yeah,
getting
I mean,
dumped on,
literally, yeah.
which is why I want to make a T-shirt that says like the VA killing who the DoD couldn't since in whatever fucking year they were born. I would wear the shit out of that shirt. I'd wear it into the VA every time I walked in there. The VA finishing the DoD's job since. They don't give a
Damn.
damn about us. But yeah, like you got to just if you're out there near a veteran, what you got to keep it up. Like you got to keep telling people, don't give up, no matter how much of a headache it is, because every voice lost, it just makes it easier for them to keep just running through us like we don't matter. And that doesn't fix a goddamn thing at all. So don't lose faith. It's hard. God knows it's hard, but don't do it. Please, for the love of God, don't do it. Every voice matters. You matter. Don't let the pricks off that easy. I approve said message.
Important message.
Yeah,
All
yes, it
right.
is.
Well, with that being said, that was a little heavy, but you know what? It needed to be discussed. Glad you're back. So now let's get into the fun stuff that you do. Oh shit. I don't even know where to begin. Hey, listen, I've been doing so much with guest interviews lately for my show, and a lot of it has been based on geopolitics and a lot of discussion about Islam. So I we're not going to get into that, to be quite honest, Jesse.
Hey, those were good shorts though. Those were fantastic. Those were fantastic.
Well,
I
I'm gonna try to avoid that
enjoyed them.
conversation with you because you're gonna bring me back to domestic, what's going on domestically here in the U.S., which I haven't had time to concentrate on anymore, just because I've been so engrossed in what's going on and the world overseas for whatever reason. It's just that's how it went. But you're the guy that has no problem telling people how it is, and not just tell them how it is, but why. Like, here's the facts behind this. Let's not conflate shit. Let's not try to sugarcoat it. Here's the reality. I don't even know where to begin, but you've been on a tear lately with your show, which I like. Well, actually, I know where to begin. Let's do this. As you're a Trump supporter, right? And I want to get your assessment on what's going on right now. Everybody is kind of holding his feet to the fire for the Epstein debacle, and now there's a big push by the Democrat Party, the leftists, to basically try to drive home that he's on the list, he's a pedophile, and this is the only reason that nothing's happening and there's no list being released. But completely also ignoring the fact that there was a nearly 2-decade investigation into Epstein. Josephine Maxwell was arrested because of evidence that she was involved in what was going on. And beyond that, she was the one finding underage people, girls, to send to Epstein. So they have this connection and all this evidence that they suddenly don't have. That the Democrat Party for all these years could have pushed, that Trump being such a major figure, whether he was in politics or not, was always a popular billionaire. At any given time, they could have pulled the plug on this, right? Why now? Like, what's going on? And what's with this rift going on with the so-called MAGA side of things? And we'll get into MAGA later because I think people are getting away from what MAGA actually meant. It's not everybody thinks it's just Trump. Well, he coined the term, so that's what it is. But I believe it represents something bigger. But
Yeah, something
regardless,
bigger.
I mean, let's get your thoughts on this Epstein debacle. Like, where do you stand, and or what do you know, and what do you think on this?
See, that's why I haven't talked about it on mine. Granted, there's a theory behind it, everybody, but I'm not trying to avoid it because I think he's on the list. I'm not trying to do any of that. It's a very simple theory. Thankfully, I figured he would bring this up. I was just waiting. Um, and I think I told some in if you ask, I've told people, but it's a very simple but confusing thing as to, complicated, I should say, is why I don't, talk about it. Okay. One, get it out of the way. If he was on it, we would have known. So let's stop that argument already. They've proven that they're just slimy, shitty people. And if they got him, they would have got him already. There would have been the gotcha. Two, we know. I mean, I think that the flight logs, and all that, who went here, there, and everywhere, just because you were on his plane doesn't mean you were necessarily, because he did have normal business things, that he did, not just being, a fucking creep, a maximum creep, you know. So there's going to be people that I think, that are on the logs that, would just get freight trained when they literally had nothing to do with the creepiness, but their name would be out there forever. And I think that would ruin, a lot of innocent people's lives. And again, to everyone that said you're just saying that because of Trump, no, if he's on the thing, fuck him, get him. But I think there's a lot of people that, weren't involved in any of it that we know had business dealings with him, outside of his creepiness that would get, thrown up into the stupidity of it all, no matter what you're ruined, just because everyone's been on, him being like those paintings behind me. They're not going to hang themselves. Anyway, haven't heard that one in a while. But so I think that's a big, part of it. I think that, I mean, we've all heard the speculation and all that. You've heard it. I mean, we all heard rumors of, people that were involved, from celebrities, athletes, business people, fucking royalty overseas, like all of that. I think there's so many moving pieces, and big names out there. I'm sure there's giant names out there, that we'd never hear like the whole thing anyway. It's one of those we'll know, but we'll never. I just don't think they'll ever. If there's really royalty from overseas and princes and all that, like we're never gonna see. the whole entire thing. People like heads will actually explode
That
if
that that right there, Jesse, was a big theory of mine as to why.
yeah, yeah,
To me, theory, we're talking theory, right? 'Cause
yeah.
we obviously can only prove what we know or what's been released, but the, theory I had was similar to what you're saying. I think there were world leaders deep into this shit, and they haven't moved forward with exposing anything to the degree that the American people are looking for, because it can really upend geopolitical connections and relationships throughout the world.
Yeah.
But would you agree that if that is the case, say, like, fuck it, like, is it not time for a reset and to hold people's feet to the fire and punish them for
Oh,
all of this all this heinous, all these heinous acts? Like,
that's what's on my back end, like what I'm hoping. And people, again, it's just a theory, but this is what happens when I sit around at night and I'm building the website and I'm just like, and I have those weird thoughts. But, he came out and said that, he had it. Pam Bondi said, all the files were on her desk.
oh yeah, thousands of hours of
Yeah.
video, remember?
All of that, like, was there. And now they're saying there was nothing. My hope is that it's a game of chess, not checkers. So he comes out, he says they have nothing, which now has Nancy and all of them throwing up all kinds of, yeah. The Republicans say there's nothing, and we went on recess for the summer, right? Like they're gone right now. But
Right.
the Democrats, Pelosi, are throwing up bills to say we have to know what's happening. Maxwell has to come and testify and all that. And they finally get him so strung up that he's like, fine, fuck it.
Wasn't it
And he
isn't it funny
releases it,
though that
all
they
of it.
but isn't it funny they were
It
against Maxwell,
yeah,
testifying for so long, and now all
yes.
of a sudden they want her on the stand?
Yeah, like, I'm hoping that he's just, like, came out and said it was nothing, which then turns all of their people that they've turned into just fucking robots.
I think that's a
It's only be like,
possibility.
"Kill him, kill him, kill him." They have to get it, so then they pass all these bills. It has to get, put out there, and he's like, "Fine, fuck it, here you go." And then he uses it as the way to, bury
I mean, do you think it's
all
that
of them that deserve it.
do you think they're that simple-minded though, that they're manipulated so easily? Alright, I'm sorry I asked.
I have one more word for everybody. Afghanistan.
Oh, shit.
Or here's one. Very fine people on both sides.
It's just
Even though there's like a
you don't wanna
30-second
believe
speech around that.
yeah, but we don't wanna believe elected officials are that easily
Russia, Russia, Russia. The border is closed. Inject bleach.
Alright, fine, I get it.
I mean, you can get these people are Jesus Christ. Remember when there was allegedly, Russia allegedly had hits out on our troops in Afghanistan? Nothing confirmed. I still haven't seen anything confirmed, but guess
Yeah.
what? The second they heard it, they ran with it because he was terrible. And why is he doing this? I'm like, all you people do by running this, and they believed it. And I got yelled at for it. I'm like, don't, like, Jesus Christ. Like, yes, what? If they were doing it, now it's probably worse for us with the troops over there. And if they weren't doing it, it's still bad for the people over there. Like, you stupid fucks don't think. They just hear and they just, "Bleh," and they just
Well,
have to go and go and go, just like they're saying birthright, like Trump's kids have to go because Melania wasn't a citizen. It's like he still was.
I
Done,
I
done, done.
I get it. I
Like,
mean,
these people are
yeah,
stupid.
okay. You're
I don't
stupid.
like to call people stupid, but
So,
after this many years,
the thing with the Maxwell case, that gets me is, I mean, that is the biggest piece of confirmation that everyone has that they're ignoring. She's not being held for just being a fucking pimp for this long.
yeah,
That's I
well,
mean, she was convicted of assisting in trafficking fucking minors. Connected to who? Who was her boss? Epstein. How does that trail suddenly run cold? How can you say there's no list or any other names associated with it? It's like, who were his fucking
hmm,
clients? You think
that's
they weren't gathering them, and they didn't run a business, which is what they were doing, as shady and bad as it was, Jesse, abhorrent. They weren't doing it for nothing if they didn't have fucking clients. And in that type of situation, unfortunately, people don't want to hear this, but in sex trafficking, there are repeat clients, like known repeat clients. It's not
yeah,
just random people they find on the dark web. So they know 2 years, not 2 years, sorry, 2 decades long investigation, and suddenly it's all bullshit, and
that's
and it's all about, oh well, they're not releasing because Trump's on the list, like you said with the flight logs. those have been public for years. I mean, Bill Gates is on there, fucking Chris Tucker. I mean, think about it. There's so many people on those flight logs, but no one's
Fucking
looking
Chris
at
Tucker.
them, right?
Yeah.
And then
I think
one more thing,
that's part
Justin.
of
Then
the
here's the
theory.
other thing, because I'm sure you know about this. The other thing I have to say about this is why now all of a sudden we have all these people like now specifically now after all these years, all these people coming forward. Trump raped me. Trump touched me. I'm victim number 27. I'm victim number 30. Like, doesn't it all seem very theatrical and organized and played and very
Yeah.
intentional?
Yeah. I mean, everything always is by them. When I say them, I mean like the whole entire like control panel power of the whole entire country. I mean, the same
Yeah,
people have been in the same positions doing the same thing. And they do what they have to. They manipulate things how they have to. They have the media and they say, here's the talking point. And somehow, or like when the Democrats were coming out with all those spontaneous videos and somehow they were all saying the same exact thing, like
very timely too,
literally
right?
perfect tempo, perfect, like they were all, it's all, thing. But again, her and the client list goes into my big, thing because, they got her for trafficking, et cetera, et cetera. To apparently no one, I'm hoping that they're just using that again. What my dream scenario is that it's just a big game of chess to get all the idiots to be like, we need to know. And he's like, okay. But remember, I mean, we also just saw a court case where Diddy got hit for, trafficking people across state lines for sex, but then didn't get charged with sex
Right?
trafficking, which is
What the fuck was that about?
he trafficked them for sex across state lines. He got charged with that, but he didn't get for sex traffic,
Right.
you know. But I think that it's part of the grand. I hope it's part of the grand, scheme of things. Because I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, that Miss Maxwell sat down and answered every damn question known to mankind with the DOJ one of these days here recently. Man, I heard that'd be
But
great if that was it.
but
No
are they
holds
gonna
barred
let us
interview.
know the what like, are we gonna get
Yeah,
that
we
recorded
should.
conversation or anything? Like, are they gonna let that be known and
We
made public?
should. Will we? Will we? We know how this works. That's what everyone seems to be biggest disappointment is with Trump with it is, that he's not. Again, I'm just hoping that just for the grand scheme of the world, it's just going to be the biggest game of chess and the biggest gotcha of all time. Be like, fine, here you go.
Nobody wants to give Trump that credit though,
Yeah,
like, "Oh, he's not a chess player. He's not that smart." Well, okay,
no
we
one
can
will.
argue maybe he individually isn't, but he has a large team behind him. And
And there's some very smart people in there.
right, and and unfortunately for these people who make this claim, he's repeatedly been very consistent and backing these idiots into a corner and exposing their bullshit and having them play right into his schemes, really. So, like, they still don't get it. They still don't get it. I'm with you though. Look, if Trump's on this list, if he's truly part of this, I don't give a fuck if he's Trump or not. I don't care. To me, if you're abusing children, man, and you're using them for sex and sex trafficking and making fucking kiddie porn, then you need to burn. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't even care if you're Trump. I don't care if you're Obama,
Yeah,
Clinton. I don't care. Like, these people should be punished, and I think straight
I'll light the match.
execution. Right? There's no reason for these people to ruin people's lives at a young age and
Yeah,
get to live and fucking tell a story. Like, fuck that.
yeah. So I hope it's, but again, and just because, like, I mean, he's a bull in a china shop now, which you see everyone
Always.
complaining about. He's
He's
just
a
doing
fucking
this.
hammer.
Like he was bad the first time. Then you guys didn't leave him alone for 4 years. And this time he knows he only had, like, I only got 4 years left, and he doesn't fucking care.
No. Yeah, people don't realize
Which
that.
is like, and look at all. I mean, he's been a troll ever
Ultimate troll.
since like fall until now. Like he's gonna be a king. What? Maybe he'll be a king. No King's Day everywhere. Which, by the way, I hope you had a very good No King's Day, which I like to call the 4th of July. They celebrated and told the king to go
Yeah.
fuck himself.
It
That was
is.
very,
Yes. Yes.
yeah. Thank you guys for that. And we appreciate you celebrating it with us. You're just
Yeah.
too stupid to
Thanks for the
realize how,
acknowledgement, dumbasses.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they were out there and they were doing it on the 4th of July, having no king's things. Like, you guys are actually so stupid that you're celebrating the day we told the king to go fuck himself. Like,
You
no
can't
King's Day on that day as a form of protest, even though we're celebrating the fact we told the king to go fuck himself. Or he's just Cinco de Mayo when you have the thing, the somber, like he has just been trolling these people for months, and it immediately starts the spin machine, which is why I hope that's all this is. It's just a very, political game of fine. Oh, look what they really want me to release it. Oh no, what? Here we go. Gotcha. Like, pray to God that, I mean, I don't pray to God, but hopefully that's
Yeah, and you know what, Jesse, is they're using the whole protecting victims argument as to why this has never happened, but
yeah,
nobody's asking for names of victims. We're no we do not need to see the tapes of victims being abused
yeah,
or get to know who they are. We're asking for the fucking people involved
yeah,
that
to get
were
theirs,
paying and soliciting
yeah,
this service,
to
whether
get
it was with
theirs.
money or an exchange of favors and, it doesn't matter. That's what we want. We don't the excuse of protecting the victims is bullshit because no one's
Yeah,
asking for who's the victim, what did they go through? Oh, show me the video. Like,
yeah,
no one's sick enough to fucking want like,
yeah.
that is
I, d-
so dumb. That is the stupidest argument ever to
I don't want it
use.
to sound wrong
Yeah.
when I say I don't care about the victims because I really honestly do, but I don't care who they are. If they
Right.
want to come forward and tell their story, by all means, but
Agree. I agree with you.
if those things are already sealed, no one's going to find out. And guess what? They're very fond of that big black marker and redacting everything out
Oh,
of everything.
I
They
know
can
it.
make all of that disappear and just tell us who the people are. And it's always a shit excuse. I do think it's funny with the Trump and Obama thing. Yeah, Trump said something. Obama responded, like, guys,
We're
that's
gonna
how
get
you
into that
know.
a little bit. Yeah, I wanna
That's
get
how
your
you
thoughts
know
on
that.
that. Yeah.
That's how you know something's going on. If Obama's actually responding, but there might be something to it that someone might actually know, and then Obama's going, "Oh no," like, yeah,
Well,
like,
okay,
hi,
since you brought that up, the argument from the other side, Jesse, is trying to tie this to Obama, right? And they're saying that the Trump administration, not necessarily Trump himself, but basically the whole administration is deflecting, right? They're just trying to distract. But what's interesting is you can correct me because I'm not sure, but as far as I know, Obama has not made any direct rebuttals or comments about this. It's been his office.
yeah.
I haven't seen a video of him directly addressing it.
I haven't seen him say a word. He has smart
Interesting,
people just
right?
saying stuff for him. Yeah, yeah. I don't think we're actually. I mean, the fact that his office responded, I think, says everything. Because look at all of the things Team Trump and Trump has said about them. It's amazing how this is the one that struck the nerve suddenly for him to have to say something after all of the. I mean, dude's been nonstop on these people. This is the one that struck the nerve enough that I mean, we'll never see Obama say another word, but his team, someone in his team went, "Oh no," and that spoke. That said enough for me. It's the fact that this was after all the jabs they've thrown back and forth at each other, and they have, since Trump was running way back when. And don't get me going on all that nonsense that happened. Proven, by the way. You're welcome, America. Um, but the fact that this is finally one of the few things that got any kind of response, I think that speaks volumes. There's the word I was looking for. That speaks volumes as to the whole situation in my eyes. And again, that's also why I don't trust, you know, fully trust any of the paperwork or any of the anything that, no offense if it came from an intelligence agency in this country.
Yeah.
Be dear God, I've met some of these people. But yeah, I mean, his people responded. There's my stance on it. That tells me everything I need to know because
Yeah.
anyone that listens to your show, anyone that has ears, they haven't had much nice to say about each other at all since,
No.
before he was president the first time. It's
No.
just been,
Obama's always been vocal. He's always put a video or a response, but he's been so silent on this accusation.
yeah,
And is it really an accusation? Or as you said, they're silent because they know that they just got caught to a degree that they can't fucking explain this one away. Maybe. I
they
don't
just got
know.
oh noed. I mean, that could be it. Just like, and I saw them talking more about, the Russia stuff.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even respond to that. It was someone on his
No,
team,
that's another big one.
which is really amazing how like that all, finally, I don't know why everyone's like, it's public knowledge now. It's been fucking public knowledge. where the fuck if
Fuck, man.
we knew this back at even the guy that investigated it for,
Right,
all that whole entire
and all the evidence they
you know, like
had against Hillary Clinton's involvement.
yeah,
The fucking
they
servers.
literally
Like,
they got a special counsel to look into it because he was apparently such a bad dude. Trump with all of it, and all they came up with was Hillary paid for what they could. It's like he didn't do anything. Like he wasn't in contact with any of them. And don't get me going on the servers and how they hacked into it. And she had 17 devices, God knows how many servers and hard
oh, what
drives.
the
Like
fuck was
just
she doing with her own personal servers at her house with this
yeah,
fucking info?
just saying. And I think I heard if anything came out from this, that if anything, Russia had information on Hillary that they
But you know what, Jesse?
didn't
Is
release
this
during
is
all
this
of it.
news? Is this really news for America? Like for any country that outside influence is always there? There's always some
I mean,
outside
I think it's
actor,
news for I think it's news for certain parts of society. Like for all of us that, have ears,
right?
have experience in life, have left their hometown, have
Maybe maybe the difference here, Jesse, is that the evidence. Okay, I think the difference here is that the Trump administration, he's got enough people in place, like the FBI, for example, and that's another discussion because I'm not necessarily completely impressed with what's been going on there with Patel and fucking Bongino. But regardless, he's got enough of his people that he trusts in place. And maybe the difference now is they know that they're not going to stop digging and exposing the evidence, and they don't have access anymore to bury it. Maybe that's the difference this time around.
well, yeah, and I mean, they did it to themselves. Now, like the second Trump was gone, they revoked everybody's everything, which no one ever did before immediately. I mean, he even waited on some of the people to tell them to kick rocks and revoke their like, he was nicer about it than, shit, he didn't even well, he was in Mar-a-Lago. He quit that morning. He was gone way early, but, first thing they did was revoke all of everyone's stuff to be able
Yep.
to look at anything and do anything, and
Security
he's like,
clearance is
"Sorry, what? None
gone.
of you have access to
Yeah.
anything
Which
ever."
I agree with, though. I
Deal
mean, if
with
you're
I
no
think
longer
once they're gone, that should
yeah,
you
if you're no
shouldn't
longer
have
serving, you're no
they
longer an
don't need to have
elected
access
official,
to it for.
you don't need it.
That turns you into John Kerry, flying
Right.
in his private jet, going and trying to, influence things because he still has access to, everything. He just happens to be the first name that comes to mind, but he did. He still
No,
had all the access in the world, and
you shouldn't.
because
None of these
Trump
people
didn't get
should.
rid of all of it. Trump didn't get rid of all their stuff after, when he went in the first time. He kept the thing going, and then we all saw where that go. And well, John
They're
Kerry
they're
sucks.
scrambling
So,
now.
yeah,
Yeah.
but none of them. I don't even care when he's gone. If they don't have a role in the government,
Yeah.
why the hell do you need access to
None of them.
this?
It doesn't matter what party you're part of or who you are, like
Anything. Like if you're not in the government,
mm-mm.
kick fucking rocks.
It's like
You're
if
on a
any of
need to
us
know
got
basis.
yeah, if any of us got fired or left a job, what happens right away? Your access, your email, your account,
Everything.
everything is done. You no longer are able to participate, monitor, anything. You're separated from
I
that
go back
company.
to the movie The Rock with Nicolas Cage. You're on a need to know basis,
Exactly.
and you don't need to know.
So
Um,
we're gonna hope that all of this. I hope this whole Epstein thing doesn't get drug out for another 3 years. We're gonna wait till the end of Trump's term, but there's rumors
I
that
don't
things
think
are
he's that
gonna
done.
happen here really soon. Obama's response or non-response is a dead giveaway, as you said, and I agree with you. I think that's a bigger issue that's being ignored because they don't have a response. They have nothing right now. Um, and then the whole but we do have to discuss this. Do you believe that there's a fracture within Trump's administration? Because it seems like Bondi, what she says is always being contradicted by Patel, for example. And she, like you said earlier, the first the first phase, fucking binders, that's another debacle. But anyway, the first phase, she has the evidence. She goes, "There's thousands of hours of videos. Like, we got to go through everything. There's so much pictures, so much evidence. It's on my desk. It's on my desk." And then Patel, "Oh, we don't have anything. We looked into it. So there's nothing. There's just nothing there." And then Bongino, oh, he killed himself. The biggest
Huh.
actor, right? All of a sudden, I'm telling you, I don't know what else you want me to say. He killed himself. Like, and now they're gonna release video evidence of him killing himself when the cameras conveniently didn't work at the time. Like, what do you think is happening there? What is the rift and separation, or is it just all misdirection and meant to keep us guessing?
I'm hoping it's that. I'm hoping it, and you gotta think she said there's a minute missing, then they're gonna release, everything with get everything put together after that minute, and then suddenly there's 3 minutes missing or something, yeah. I think that there's, you know, between all of them, there seems to be a bigger picture, something between them. I mean, but even Trump has, said things that contradicted, what Pam Bondi has said, on some things, not everything. But, he'd say one thing, she'd be saying another thing. Granted, he's an asshole, he doesn't care, but he could be trying to misdirect everybody and pulling the gotcha just, but something doesn't seem copacetic, kosher, perhaps. Like that's something seems off with it. Uh, I hope it's just misdirection. I mean, I don't know what's going on in there, but apparently her relationship, when she was down there and going after, you know, Epstein, having all kinds of different, like, there's all kinds of stuff floating around. We've all read it, we've all seen it. I just hope it's misdirection. Now, could it be just people lying through their teeth? I mean, it's the federal government. Yeah.
It,
Uh,
it, but it,
Obviously, especially at the DOJ.
I'm starting to
Jesus.
question whether or not Bondi is the one lying.
Yeah.
I don't know if she is. I mean, she's the AG. Like, why would she publicly, the person who's directing all law
All of it.
enforcement, right, say one thing and then have the FBI or other departments agree with her and then go, well, after further review, there's really nothing. It- so someone's getting to Patel, and you can't ignore the fucking 180 with Patel.
Yeah.
We're gonna get in there and expose. Like he had access to certain information before he was there. Now he's there. Suddenly he doesn't. Suddenly there's nothing that he can do at all. Like, you're the fucking director. What are you talking about? And then it looks like Bongino's just playing the part. Or I had this discussion with another guest of mine, and he made a good point about Bongino. I kind of agree with him, is that, look, he gave up this career in podcasting, this making millions of dollars a year, one of the biggest shows there was, at least in the politics and
Yeah.
space.
He was huge.
And then he stepped into something with his experience, right? Secret Service, etc., and didn't realize how deep it went. And now he's stuck. He's kind of like, how do I get out of this? I don't think he can actually say what he really feels or thinks, because he,
Definitely.
yeah. So,
Body language.
oh, yeah, absolutely. So I don't think he wants to fuck his relationships up, right? Like his access and his relationship to the administration, but at the same time, you can see the disappointment. You
Yeah.
can see, like, he's like, I want to say something. I know things, but I can't. Now, is he under threat? Do you think there's some kind of threat hanging over his head? And he's the kind of guy that I think maybe not concerned with him in his personal safety so much as maybe his family, his wife,
Yeah.
etc. Do you think there's something like that that might be going on when it comes to people
Yeah.
like Bongino, and even Patel, who are so adamant about all the corruption and everything they expose, and now all of a sudden it's like they're just fucking
And
parroting the same old shit the
yeah,
previous
that goes
FBI
back
did.
to that goes back to, what I said earlier, certain players in there. They knew it was there, they knew it was there, then they saw, like you said, how deep it actually went,
Yeah,
and even though they know it's there, I think there's a lot of, tongue biting,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
or like The Undertaker used to say, how he kept himself from, not breaking character, he'd just bite on the inside of his lip as hard as humanly possible just to keep that.
Just to remind them, yeah.
I think there's, part that, because there's no way they didn't get in there and then suddenly go, "Holy shit." Because holy shit. I think it'd be so, what we both said, like, they stepped into a bigger pile than they imagined, and they wanna say things, but again, if there's people, royalty and, all these other people involved, and, again, family safety, all kinds of things that can go into if, they expose all of those people, not at the right time and all that, that can cause, irreparable harm, to them, loved ones, all of that, I think that's definitely part of it. But you could definitely tell that Dan's, put the inside of that lip bit down on his heart of the because
Yeah.
his body language is not of someone that's exactly happy with what they're saying.
Doesn't seem himself for sure.
Yeah, he's not very comfortable with his other.
And I'm trying to give him that. I'm
Yeah,
trying to give him that credit
trying to
to
give them
him.
that
I
much.
don't wanna believe that he's a bought and shill, you know?
Yeah,
Nobody does, but
I'm
what we're
gonna. I'm.
seeing
I'm
is complete opposite of what was, right? So, all right, look, we beat this Epstein whatever thing up enough. We're never gonna know until we know. Like, we're
Yeah, that's
speculating
what I
and
told someone.
yeah,
Of like, and they were like, "Why don't you care?" Like, I care, but it's one of those until someone does anything, like, we're only gonna know as much as we know, and there's things that are actually happening that, we know about, like, again, VA, like we talked about, the economy, like, there's all kinds of actual real things that we know what's going
right.
on. So, Epstein's, no offense to the world, feel bad for the victims, every heart goes out, all of that, but until whoever decides we can actually know, yeah, we're never gonna know.
No, I agree. I just I'm just
Yeah.
not one to buy into the dismissal of
Oh,
suddenly no evidence and
yeah.
suddenly
Oh,
no
I don't
this.
believe that. I don't
Right.
believe
That's
any,
my thing. I do agree with
shroud
you.
of.
It's like I think we are ourselves right now. I think people are given too much air to this. Look, we know there's evidence. We know there's a list. We know it's being worked on. And this isn't a gotcha moment for Trump or the Trump administration. If anything, what's coming out is it's a big gotcha moment for the Democrats who are in fucking charge all these years. And let's not
Yeah,
even ignore the fact that during Trump's first term, who had majority of of Congress? The
yeah.
Democrats. You know,
How do you
so
think he got impeached twice?
right. So like there's a bigger story to tell here outside of,
Eh,
the conspiracy
yeah,
that people are ignoring. But you're right. Like at this point, it's like everyone's saying what they got to say. Everyone's getting their clicks and likes and their fucking eyeballs off this thing. And it's time to like, not forget, but let them play this out. Let's see where it goes because obviously, like you said, Obama's silence is a big tell in this whole thing right now.
yeah,
So
and don't forget, like, God knows how many of, our intelligence agencies that were involved in it somehow.
yeah,
Like, there's such a
agreed.
bigger web than anyone ever thinks of on it. Like, just relationship, like, this
Yeah,
thing this thing spun a web,
yeah,
spun a
it did.
yarn. I don't care what phrase you want. It's huge, and if it involves, burying our intelligence stuff, that also is stuff that, they have to do kid gloves and make sure they have every single damn thing dotted, crossed, ran the motherfucker through Grammarly to make sure that, like, they have to. You have to do it properly because I think it's, again, bigger than anyone
L-
ever gave credit to, and I don't
Yeah.
trust our intelligence, so that's another story, but
Well, let's move on to a lighter topic that's kind of more fun. Colbert.
good for him.
Colbert.
Did
What do you think,
I
man?
say that out loud? Miserable bastard.
Colbert.
He's
S- So,
oh my god,
canceled and not coming back ever, and not just him, but the show itself. So,
which is a shame
yeah,
because it
I
had a
agree. There's
hell of a run before. Yeah, I
a
mean,
lot of history
Carson,
there.
Leno, and then,
Carson, you know, all of it.
like, it had such a run when there was actually, like, just interviewing guests and,
Letterman.
you know,
it's just, whether we agree with
comedy
these,
and
yeah, whether we agree with these people or not. I mean, at least for the most part, they kept it fairly neutral. I mean, they always had a little bit that they inflected in terms of politics, but
yeah,
not to the level that Colbert did. And I'm not sure if that was Colbert himself or the decision of the, network at the time, because his previous show, that's pretty much what it was, right? It was just parody and,
yeah,
sarcasm, uh, in politics. And I'll admit, I mean, I didn't even care he was liberal. I laughed. I thought he was funny. I mean, if you can't see both sides and laugh, I mean, sorry, I can. I can do that. But when he came over to host, forgot Late Show Tonight. I don't even pay attention,
Yeah,
even myself. But when he
the
came over to
rebranded
host,
Late Show.
yeah, the Late Show, I think that something definitely changed. It wasn't the same. He
Yeah,
wasn't the same, or it didn't appear to be. So
he wasn't.
the excuse that the reason he is canceled is because of Trump is fucking ridiculous. Losing 40, what was it, 40 million a year?
50.
Oh, 50 million.
Yeah,
Okay.
somewhere in between 40 and
So
50.
as a business, if you're losing $50 million a year and someone punches your ticket and they say, we can't afford to do this anymore, how has that got anything to do with Trump? Like, you were losing money. I think it was in their second or third season, right? Is when the decline started really happening.
He
Oh, wait, what you got? Oh, yes, I was waiting for this.
still got my notes.
It's
They were
receipts
just
time.
they were just way too far away. But
All right.
yeah,
Well, let's take it away. Let's take it away. You let us know what's up with this.
okay. Well, I mean, if we go back to Leno between 2000 and 2009, 5 to 6 million average, which isn't bad. It's not the Carson numbers, but it's still good. 2010 to 2014 when he came back because the other guy sucks so bad. 3.8 to 4, which was a decline. His final episode got 14.6 million, which that's a hell of a number. Anyone says Fallon's debut, even though they're 10 seconds apart, was down to 11.3 million. Just debut 2013, the average was 1.7. Fallon in 2012 was at 1.1 to 2 million average. Colbert took over in 2015 at 3 million, and since then it went to 2.4. 2017 it jumped up to 3.2. When all the nonstop bashing Trump and Republicans. 2018 was at 3.7. We saw 3.8 in 2019, 3.6 in 2020. Then they lost half a million average and went down to 3.1. And then they've been hovering around 2.5 million since 2022, to include the around 2.4 we're seeing them
And
getting
you and these
credit for.
numbers, just so everybody knows, you're referring to viewership.
Yes,
Yeah.
viewers on average, and all of those include the people that record it on their DVR and watch it
Right. So they're
later.
so they're trying to politicize a business
Everything,
decision, right?
everything.
Based on numbers.
Oh my god! Oh my god! When it happened,
Yeah.
oh my god! I was up way too late. Way like I don't even remember what happened. It was just, I think it was like 4:30 in the morning that day. Like I was just going and going and going and
Really?
going and going and going. I don't know, like because I got into the comments and she was like, "Look, and I had to drive with her to McDonald's because she wanted a Diet Coke because
So you just
apparently they're
went down
super
the rabbit
crispy."
hole. Yeah.
And we were driving, and I was just like, and it was just Trump, 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 the dictator. My favorite one is, I hope, is the rapist in chief, as they called it, but I don't like to say the word. But it'd be really fun as the Marine Corps has a group that goes over everyone's social media to make sure they're not doing anything stupid or posting anything stupid. And they get in trouble if they do. He should get one of those and find every single comment and every single person that said that. Because if he owns it, he got Stephanopoulos, you got CBS, he can get all of you. And you
He
all have to
could,
sit in court
absolutely.
and hear that he didn't actually get found guilty of
No, he
that.
didn't.
And then he could just own all of them. I don't like being petty, but you know what? If they're going to be this petty for this long, I say bury them, because it turns out, ABC, NBC, CBS, all of them since 2018 have lost, an average of $439 million in ad revenue combined,
Isn't
to include his 50.
isn't this an admission of the change though in American culture and what people
Yep.
want? Like it's I think I think the Democrat Party is in so much trouble because they can't acknowledge that their way of thinking and their messaging just
Hmm.
no one's
That,
buying it anymore.
that's
But
what got him into
when it
this.
comes to Colbert, I want to keep this about business for a second.
$50 million.
Because yeah,
The
$50
end.
million a year. Why does a show why does a show like that need over 100 employees? Which is very much what you and I do. Look, it's a live podcast. That's what it is. Talk shows are the precursor to podcasting.
Yeah.
Why? And at the most, they have multiple camera people. I get it. If you have three camera positions, great, so you can get different angles. But they have a guest, they have a host. Do you need the band? No, but they got one. Okay. Where are the other employees? Do you need 24 fucking writers for you to speak your mind and ask people questions. And most of these interviews are such shit because it's like 10, 15-minute segments, then bring in the next guy. Like, there's not enough time to have a real conversation anyway. So why can't they just acknowledge that people have moved on? They want long form conversations so they can get to know who people really are. And they're also just absorbing media differently. I mean,
Yeah.
they're looking at YouTube, they're looking at podcasts, they're looking at, shorts and reels on Instagram and, X for news and updates. They just acknowledge that, look, you need to evolve or every show like Colbert is in danger of going down the same path. They don't want to admit that. They just want to go Trump's fault. It
We'll
has nothing to
see.
do with Trump. It's business. You guys,
Yeah.
you've been on the downward spiral for years.
I mean, you've lost I mean, when you only have 3.6 million people to, talk about as your audience, losing a third of that
Yeah, that's huge.
is bad when
That's
you're running.
huge.
And I also was commenting, people I did bite on some of the comments. I'm like, yeah, it has nothing to do with, 40 to $50 million hole he's continuously in that they're eating because, it's him and like 12 people and somehow it's costing hundreds of millions of dollars to even do the goddamn thing. And all they're doing the whole time is bastardizing half the country.
True.
Like,
It
here's a good one.
Yeah.
Disney, like how good have the numbers worked for anybody when they've done that lately?
I
Like
don't even know how Disney's
even
still
the
alive.
middle, what they lost the, people in the middle. They lost all, independence. Like they even went like we're done with it because it's just been nonstop. And I think the world, most of the country now at least, is finally back onto we don't want to hear it all the time. Like these shows were here to entertain us and take our mind off of this non-stop.
You said it.
Like
That's
it's not
important.
healthy.
Yeah, you
It's
said it.
not good.
It's supposed to be entertainment. It's supposed to be an escape. Like, not everybody wants to be bombarded with politicization of every single topic or politics in general. Like, you and I do this, we can dive into, but not everybody's like us. And even you, we want the time to where we don't wanna hear about it. Like, I just wanna watch a movie. I don't need the movie to try to preach to me about the morality of a certain topic or subject based on a leftist view. Like, could we just keep it about, hey, the kids are playing in the playground, they're just having fun? Do we have to politicize the interaction between the kids and how this person's getting left out and it's not equitable? And like, get the fuck out of here with that.
Yeah.
Can we just have a little bit of an escape? Can we have a story told to us that doesn't have to be politicized? Like even the new
People want
Superman, right?
normalcy.
What the fuck is with
What
that?
I heard. I haven't watched it. I wasn't gonna watch it in the first damn place,
Well, I
but
haven't
then
watched it either, admittedly, but I've heard like you, and I've
I've
gotten
heard.
feedback from many people that like, what the fuck? And that right there keeps me from wanting to watch it. But
I mean, look at Snow White. Look how well that did.
oh, that was fuck. I couldn't.
After all the things that she said and kept saying, but it's amazing
I couldn't. I can't believe that they're
how
dying on that hill.
how much and they're still like every time. Tell me, everyone else tell him too. Every single like I'm scrolling just because you get bored and you're just
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And every single one that Disney Plus or any of them does is about how fantastic that
The
movie is and how
gaslighting
good
is
like
real.
non-stop like they don't show anything else. That's all I see
Yeah.
is her face in that movie. I'm like, tanked. Like, Jesus, for the love of holy hell, Terrifier 3 made more money at the box office. Just here at home alone compared to Snow White
Holy shit.
altogether. You know how much money they put into one compared to the other? What I can tell you, Terrifier was very minimal compared to that.
That is
And like
crazy.
that tells you something. Watching art maul people was a more of a selling point to the world than taking your kids to see Snow White. Like that
Wow.
says everything. And again, look at SNL's ratings. Like if you look at all the ratings, as everyone says, it's just the ratings, rating. We have the best show in the hour. Like, yeah,
No.
congratulations. Gutfeld still slaughters you an hour before that. What like it's the content because at least he brings. I don't watch him. I'm just saying. At least there's some humor to it. You
I
know,
don't watch any of them anymore.
I don't watch shit. I don't
Can I
watch nothing.
can we address this though? Like, okay, Colbert is saying the gloves are off now. Like, oh, what the fuck does that even mean? What do you mean the gloves are off? What are you gonna do? Nothing. But the reality is, if you were so concerned about saving the show that you believed in, why didn't you come to the table and renegotiate your fucking salary? If it was that important, because
Yeah.
you were the
I
high,
mean,
like you were the anchor of the show. How much money were they spending just on you? Right?
yeah.
I guarantee 3/4 of that 50 million went to him, or at least more, half, and the rest, went to running the show in some way or
Actually didn't
another.
need that much to run it. They didn't.
Fuck no, you don't.
You know, it's the, sorry, NFL fans if you like the guy, but it's like the comparison between, let's say, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, they restructured everything so they'd get it through incentives, so it wasn't on the cap, so they could have players around them and keep doing good,
Absolutely.
compared to, let's say, Aaron Rodgers. It's like, "I
Right.
wanna be the highest paid forever," and then he complains, "'Cause we only get so far, we're not getting." Like, well, they only get a certain amount of money, and you're taking, like, a third of it on your own. There's another whole the dozens of people that have to also play. It's hard to pay, you and then Devontae Adams and then another guy and
I
then
mean,
another guy, and why don't I
that
have weapons? Because you get paid so much,
but that's a
and it's
perfect
not incentive based. You want it all guaranteed,
yeah,
which means there's
it's
no money to go nowhere.
it's a perfect example. That's a great example of how these shows are being treated. Like, you're the rock star, you're the quarterback. And what you said about, like, Drew Brees and Brady and whatever, yeah, they had enough sense to realize that if I want the team to be built around me, that I'm gonna have to give a little to make this work.
Yeah,
And none of these guys do. They're so self-important that the
yeah,
world spins around them. In their mind, without me, you're nothing. Well, guess what? Now everybody's nothing.
yeah.
Nobody has a job.
But I am happy that they rebranded it from The Tonight Show to The Late Show because at
Yeah.
least when it went to a pile of shit, at least it wasn't,
Well, I
The
mean,
Tonight Show.
you can't, yeah, you don't wanna put a stain on Carson's name there. But
Yeah,
the
that's
so what's next from internet? Is it gonna be like streams on Blue Sky or something, whatever the fuck he
yeah,
uses? Like, where is he gonna go?
I don't know,
Is he
but
gonna continue to get the support? Like, look what happened to, uh, Don Lemon. He thought he thought he was the most important talking head on CNN. Went and got a deal with X through Elon Musk. He fucked that relationship up because he was too far left. He couldn't realize, that you can't bite the hand that feeds you. And then he thought that on his own he was enough. And where the fuck is he now?
and remember, while he's married to that white dude, that white people are the devil and we're the most dangerous people on the planet. Or let's go back to what was his name on Fox News, Chris Wallace.
Yeah,
I'm the I'm the big, and he went to they built CNN Plus around you, and it lasted literally like 4 days.
yeah.
And then where the hell did you go? Why? Because you weren't worth it. You guys aren't this brouhaha big special, anything. And if you're just gonna like people want more, why do you think Joe Rogan's so popular? Wanna
I
know why?
think
Because he talks to everybody.
I was just yeah, I was just gonna say that. He doesn't care.
Yeah,
If he finds you
talk,
interesting, you're on the show. If he thinks
talk.
you might have something
I'll
to
talk
say,
with you.
yeah. And the other
You know,
biggest example of this self-importance, like Joy Reid. No one cares.
the readout is canceled. I think
No
it's
one
because I'm
cares.
no, it's because you're an asshole and your ratings
I'm
were
surprised Rachel
fucking
Maddow still
terrible.
has a show,
Well,
but
Mad Cow still needs her spot. They have to have someone.
needs someone, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I
and
was
look,
happy that Circle Back Saki got shit canned by MSNBC for reruns.
oh, that
That was
one.
great that they
That
canceled her. And
yeah.
what did they put in her place? Reruns. Like, what? You're so bad.
Hey, Jen Psaki, how okay, we wanna talk about a decline. How do you go to being the greatest fucking spinster we ever seen? It doesn't matter who she served, what administration, she
Yeah.
was the best. I'm sorry. She was fucking great. How do you go from that to having a show where you look like you're, like, drunk 80% of the time? When you heard her talk, it was always like, I'm like,
She
"What
probably
happened to
was.
Jen Psaki? What happened to her?"
She probably did. Well, she probably was. I mean,
I'm not trying to
probably like,
accuse her of it, but it just seemed that way, you know?
yeah, yeah, you got to do what you got to do to deal with being in that, spin zone of just Jesus Christ. Again, bash your head against the wall, drink a bottle of scotch. I mean, let's ask Nancy Pelosi her opinion.
Aye. Alright.
Bottle of scotch.
Well, Scotch does have his
Yeah,
place, I know.
but
Listen, so the whole Colbert thing, everybody had a meltdown. I think the world just
everyone.
needs to move on. Well, most of the world did. He's
Yeah.
trying to hang on to his, his own vision of his self-importance.
He'll start a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what these guys are gonna do, and, hey, good luck to them. But I think this is just an admission to something that has been going on the left has been ignoring for so long, and that is America no longer sees it the way you do. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that they're not gonna ever have someone that agrees with them because, there's always more than, one
Yeah.
viewpoint, more than one side to the story, but at the same time, they can't come to the reality that they're losing it. And the
Yeah.
Democrat Party in and of itself, I'm not saying Colbert's part of the party, but it was a fucking very, very liberal show. Let's not ignore that.
He was one of
And
their mouthpieces.
absolutely. And the Democrat Party now is so fractured, they don't even have a leader. Who is next? Who's going to be their presidential nominee? Like, what's going to happen? AOC isn't it? Jasmine Crockett is, forget that racist piece of shit. And
Uh,
who do we have? Who who Gavin Newsom's
Jasmine.
doing his tour. That guy is horrible. I mean, fuck, the appearance he just had on Sean Ryan. I mean, to be honest, Sean Ryan fucking softballed that whole thing, didn't really
Yeah.
press him for anything, even though there's tons of facts and data that Sean Ryan's supposed to be known for bringing it out of people. I
Yeah.
didn't see any of that. I don't know what that was about. That shouldn't even have been. I'm sorry, but I don't know what that was. But Newsom's on this tour, and he's a governor. He shouldn't be in North Carolina. He shouldn't be in Texas. Shouldn't be anywhere doing media opportunities with anybody when he has a complete state that he's letting fall apart and can't even keep together, but wants to convince the rest of the world of how great he is, or the rest of the United States anyway. So
He'd be a hell of a choice, though.
that's not going to happen. I don't think. I
No.
already had a
Oh, I
theory. I talked
know.
to my
I
brother about
know, but
this.
I know, but God, don't worry. There are enough of us
He's a silver tongued
that know
devil. That's what
just
he
how
is.
much he fucking sucks that we'd be okay with that one because there's no saving him.
No.
Wildfires, COVID, French Laundry,
Yeah. Well,
wildfires,
my
French
theory
Laundry,
is he's doing this
riots.
to become the guy. Like, I think
Yeah.
he's trying to get enough recognition across the United States and with other Democrats that he will be the guy that will be able to carry weight when he says, "I endorse this person." I think that's what he's going for. I think he's trying to build himself up to be one of the de facto leaders of the party, just like Obama was for so many years, right?
Yeah.
Nobody cared about Obama. I mean, he was out. He was, but when he said, "I endorse this," or gives a
Yeah.
speech, all of a sudden everybody
When he
paid attention.
spoke,
I think that's what Newsom's trying to do. I don't know if he's actually gonna go for the presidency. I think he's just trying to be the guy. I think he's trying to be the guiding light of the Democrat Party so that whatever he says, whatever happens, it carries weight and he has influence.
God,
My
it'd be
theory
nice
anyway.
if he ran, though. It'd be great if he ran.
Yeah?
Wouldn't have a snowflake's chance. Like, there's enough of us that know that he lives rent free. And I just know it's a slime ball when I see a slime ball, and it'd be nice. But again, I don't know who they're going to have run. I saw what was it, Krasenstein, whatever you pronounce his last name, and his brother talking about how we were afraid and we wouldn't know what to do with ourselves if AOC and Jasmine Crockett ran in 2028. I'm like, yeah, we would. But that would be Jesus Christ. But they thought they lost the independence with Kamala. You put those two shining stars up there, like Jesus
I
Christ, it
I
would
don't even think they could stand each other enough to campaign together.
be like 10 million. Oh my God. Like the
Think about it.
percentages we would we would get like that 81 million that we all went, how the hell
Yeah.
did he get that?
I mean, I don't even think they align, Jesse,
I
honestly.
don't, but Jesus, but I mean, it's coming from Crescent's side, so or whatever his last. That guy sucks. Him and his brother, both of them. They just look
Yeah,
like
they do.
leeches. But once they said that, I was like, dude, Jesus Christ, like whoever's paying you, what point them in my direction. Like, I'm not going to be stupid like you, but I'll take the money. Holy
Right.
God, they don't have anyone. They just have speeches and Cory Booker running his suck hole. And I mean, have him run against Cory Booker. Everyone hates Cory Booker. He thinks
What do
he's a
you
shining
think
star. You don't like him.
what do you think about this third party option that Elon's trying to push?
I think Elon needs to stay in his lane and shut the fuck up.
All right.
I mean, think about it. Because we all have, cognitive thinking abilities, critical thinking skills.
Well, I hope we still
No
do.
matter what, the people that still voted for Kamala are still going to vote that way. There's no saving it. Doesn't matter what the hell we do. Orange Godzilla, Hitler bad. No matter what. And if we got another party, all that would do is take votes away from the Republicans. The Democrats are voting Democrat no matter what, except for that, 4 million people that suddenly fucking vanished that came out of nowhere in 2020 and then they made them out to be even worse, but somehow they weren't there. Yada, yada, yada. I mean, it's funny that they're all about this, except for that 1 year. Suddenly there's this big blip that makes no sense if you look at the actual numbers per party. I have that somewhere too, but it's not in that notebook, so I'm not digging.
Oh, that's okay.
Um, but
I mean, I don't want you to give everything away on my
yeah,
show. I mean, you have episodes to do and
but,
release. So, I mean, I would just encourage people to listen to you and
God,
get a deeper dive.
it would take away from the Republicans. That's all another party would do because the lefties are going to vote lefty. Like,
So,
I mean, look at Pennsylvania. They had a dead guy on the ballot
right? What the
and
fuck?
that died like what 2 weeks before the thing, and he still won because they were too lazy to take his name off the ballot and put someone else just on there. Like they voted for a dead person. That proves the point. With
Yeah, it
the
does
end,
prove the point, and that proves the problem with voters and vote and the education that voters have. That they just look at the ballot and go, "Oh, I recognize that name," and they're Democrat or the
yeah,
Republican, and that's who I'm going to check off. Like
yeah,
you might want to
they
look
don't
into
do
the
research.
candidates a bit.
Yeah. But doesn't matter. So a third party, the America Party, whatever the hell he wants to call it, it's just going to take away,
Can you agree though that
votes.
we do need more options and diversity in our
Oh,
choices
we
though?
need
Because
we need to revamp the whole entire thing. I mean, there's been too many least, who's the, best worst case scenario, shall we say? I mean,
absolutely,
I
that's
think it
true.
needs to be completely redone. There's other things I don't like let's say 2020 example, because I don't know the Pennsylvania map from 2024 in my head, even though I'm pretty sure all the same counties that were blue were still blue. He just happened to turn some of them more purple, so he won the state. But,
Right,
Philly, and that one right there, whatever Chester County, with those two right there, Pittsburgh, and then the dumbasses in Lackawanna County. So I might add Scranton has fallen to complete and utter disarray. Place is
right.
nowhere near what it used to be. But what the hell do I know? I was only there. Those four were three were the counties that Joe won, and then Joe got the whole state. And they say, well, it's not only the rich people, like it's the people that can afford to live in the big cities where the population is that matter and make all the choices for the 97% rural state.
Well,
Like
that's
I
also the
think, I mean,
problem with California.
yeah, like I was just talking about that with Hannah. I was like, but there has to be. I mean, I don't want to say there has to be a better way, but like someone shouldn't just win like the two major cities in the state, lose the rest of it, and then win just because there's more people that live there than the rest of the state. But those are the people that can afford to live there. Spend that kind of. I mean, have you seen the price of living in Philly? It's not really the cheapest thing on the planet.
Yeah, but
People that can afford to be there, and
beyond that,
that's where the
Jesse,
sports
it's
teams are.
beyond
And
that. I want to circle back to what you said earlier because the problem we have currently, we have a two-party system regardless. Technically, we have more, but nobody else has the
yeah,
money. Nobody else
no one
has the
matters.
influence or the power. And it always comes down to like you just said earlier, the lesser of two evils. Like, oh well, these are the best options we have based on, but they're not the best options all the time. They're just the
Yeah,
only
North
two we're
Carolina
given the
proved that.
opportunity to vote on.
Yeah. North Carolina proved that in the governor race, because 'cause I'm sure you didn't. I mean, you don't get to see our, ads
Well,
here.
I think Kamala was
Yeah.
one of the biggest affirmations of that. Like, of
Oh,
everybody in the DNC, everybody that part of that party, that was the person? That was the
well
person you chose to replace fucking Biden?
we all know why she was picked.
I'm not gonna say, I mean,
They're trying to pull the 2 cards, which is why she didn't even make it out of, like,
yeah,
the
the 2
first
cards
debate in
being what?
2019,
The 2
and then
cards
suddenly
were
they're like, "What?"
well, let's just say it. They were playing on race and gender, period.
Yeah.
Woman
She
president,
was
black president, and
yeah,
that's what the whole thing was about. But people proved that they want more than just identity politics. Like, they
yeah.
want substance. They wanna know your track record that you're bringing with you actually is going
She's
to
a
apply
good
to putting American people first before party politics. And regardless of what people say about Trump, that's what he was offering. Whether you agree with him or
yeah,
not, he represented those people that were tired of the bullshit. and
Yeah.
that's why he got elected.
And that's why the Democrats fought so hard to keep RFK on the ballot because they knew that would pull votes away from Trump.
Right. Even though he
Um,
backed out, which that's
yeah,
another thing. Like, what the fuck? He literally said,
and
"I vacate. I am not running," but they wanted to
the
keep him on the ticket.
Yeah, the Democrats went to court, tried to keep him on. But that comes back to North Carolina too. That was the perfect one, because we had Josh Stein, who was the Democrat. Don't remember anything about his ads. I mean, seemed like a good enough guy, whatever. I mean, they all seem like good enough guys and ads. But the person that we picked, the Republican Party in the state picked was Mark Robinson. And literally the Democrats, all they ran the whole time was him talking about reproductive rights, and abortion stuff. And his exact word, it just played for months, was just because you decided you couldn't keep your skirt down doesn't mean that you need to have an abortion. And we're all going, like, like you guys,
Damn.
like on the floor, North Carolina. I'm like, so he said that in front of everyone and their mother. You knew he said it. You knew there was a video of it. And this was still the best choice the Republicans could come up with. What all they had to do was run him saying that. And the other guy won. Again, I'm here. I'm stuck when I'm watching racing or anything during those times where I have to see those ads nonstop. I couldn't tell you anything about. Josh Stein just went, "Hey, look at this guy," and they played that soundbite, that video, and he lost because of it. I'm like, you knew he said it, you knew that was a big issue, and that's still like the best thing you guys could come up with was like we deserve to lose North Carolina, the governor. Like, if that's like the best option we had, we have a big fucking problem overall because I know he wasn't the only option we had, and you knew the video existed. And again, it was had to be the lesser of, even Republicans. Some of them were like, well, him saying that lesser of two evil was the guy that that's pretty much been our system for fuck, I don't know, forever. Yeah, that's been it for
It's
far
the
too
lesser
long.
of two evil, and really, like I've said this before, you know, our politics have been nothing more than high school popularity contests. It's like,
Yeah,
are we really voting on people based on their qualifications? I don't know of many. I'm not gonna say any, but I hardly any president who was actually literally qualified for the job. Very few,
yeah,
very few.
very.
We got to fix the system. Look, I don't know how we're gonna do it, but if we don't talk about these things and we just ignore them because we're frustrated, it's never going to get. There's never going to be an
Yeah.
opportunity for someone to think about fixing this, put that way. But look, I'm going to wrap it up here in a bit. And before we go, I want you to tell people about your show. Your show's back. Let people know where they can find you. And yeah, I mean, I just look forward to hearing more episodes. But go ahead and give people the rundown on how to find you, contact you, etc.
Well, if you take yourself, and you want to listen to the Jesse Rucinski show, you can't watch it yet, but the walls will get done. Things will happen, and it'll look fancy. But if you want to listen to it, it's available at Apple Podcasts, Spotify for creators, Good Pods, which is where he found me. Yeah, ever grateful for that thing. Does help. Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Overcast, Audible, and I'm sure there's other places that I haven't heard of that it's on. But it sure isn't on Pandora because I submitted it and they said we'll get back to you in X amount of weeks. And somehow, this many years later, it still says we'll get back to you in so many weeks. Like, big thumbs up to Pandora. And it's also on the website 2146media.com. All the links to all the platforms, to include the old episodes, are all on there on the page, along with my paintings at Jesse Rucinski Creations on Etsy. That also has its own page on the website. It'll take you right to the Etsy store, for all that. And again, there's always, all the socials, but the easiest way if you want to get a hold of me is to send me a message on the 2146media.com page because I actually do look at that every day. So it's easier to get a hold of me. It's the best way to get a hold of me that way because everything else, all other platforms spam me and I get all these, you get all of them. So I just turn all my notifications off. So if you get me on there, you might get me right away. You might get me next year. I'm not sure. But
Well, hey man, thank you for coming on the show. I've been wanting to get you back, and I thought this was a perfect opportunity to have you here because you're back on track with the show, and I want people to check you out because like a lot of people don't get what Jesse does is we had a great conversation, but on his own show, he is like when he pulled that little notebook out, that's what he does. He's like, "Hey, here's what's going on. Here's why you're being lied to, and I can prove it." And that's what's amazing. And he doesn't pull any punches. So give Jesse a listen. Support the Jesse Rucinski show.
I wanna taste your content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell.